Ashley Carter knows how it feels to be bullied. He grew up with Treacher Collins Syndrome, a rare genetic condition affecting the development of bones and tissues in the face. From the young age of 9, he was taunted by schoolmates whose words hurt him more than they could imagine.
They put my life through hell. I would get picked on, called names like ugly, troll. I would get things chucked up at me. I would get tripped up in corridors, playgrounds, everything, you name it, I had done to me. It really affected me quite a lot because they didn't know how I was feeling inside.
As the bullying increased, so did Ashley's fear of speaking up.
And I just didn't want to open up because if I opened up, I had that fear of the group of boys coming over to me and they could have started to beat me up or do something that I didn't want to happen.
Ashley wasn't alone. Most young people under the age of 11 who call Childline do so because they're being bullied.
I used to cry and it would make my mum cry, then it would make my dad cry because of what I was going through. I only told them a little bit of what went on, but as it got worse, I started to open out a bit more, which then made me even more worse. I used to come home every day crying.
Now Ashley wants others to find the courage to speak up against the bullies like he has.
Don't let it affect you. Open up in the early stages. Don't leave it too late, because I left it too late. And it affected myself and it also affected my family.
And as you can see, Ashley has joined us in the studio. We are also joined by Alex Gray from the NSPCC. We'll be speaking to him in just a few moments' time. Ashley, first of all, thanks very much for coming in. We heard in that report there about you're just sort of saying the importance about talking to loved ones if you are being bullied, and talking to them early can make a big difference.
Oh yes.
How important is that?
I opened up very later, because I was in that fear mode of if I opened up earlier, what would have happened. But I opened up and left it too late. But the good thing about to me is if you open up earlier, you got that more support from family, friends, and even teachers. So I think that it's better to open up earlier than leaving it too late, because if you leave it too late, it's only going to build up to that point where you're going to let it all out. And it's going to be really hard to open up to a lot of things. But so I do recommend to open up really early, so you haven't got that. It's like a lot to explain, so we've only got a little bit. So yeah, open up really early, really good.
So when you finally had the confidence to tell your parents, did things improve for you?
I wouldn't say it improved. I opened up quite later because I didn't know what would have happened if I opened up early. But I just didn't know what to do, but I left it too late and it got worse. And this one day, I did tell my mum and dad throughout the journey, but this one day I got chased home by the two lads that bullied me. And I just got home and I opened the back door and I just broke down in tears. I said to my mum, I've had enough. And my mum, before it all happened, she went and spoke to the headmaster and said, can you do something? My son is coming home every day crying and it's not right. So my mum went in and spoke to the headmaster and he didn't do nothing. He didn't even go and talk to anyone. So that day when I got chased home, I opened that back door and I just broke down in tears, and my mum went in again and just said, if you're not going to sort this out, I'll go and talk to the parents myself, because I don't want to see Ashley come home.
So those sorts of conversations, I mean, that was quite a significant kind of stage to reach, but that sort of started the ball rolling for you. Well, let's bring in Alex Gray from the NSPCC on that point. I mean, Ashley's story speaks very honestly there, Alex. You know, as a parent myself, it's really sad to hear. Are there sort of signs that parents can look out for? Where can they go if they are worried about their children?
Absolutely. I think, first of all, it's important that parents do look out for those signs. So it might be that your child is withdrawn, is maybe taking themselves to the room. You might pick up things like drawings on school books or unexplained injuries, that type of thing. So it's important that parents are vigilant, and when they do spot these signs, to try and initiate that conversation, which can be a difficult conversation to have, but it's just about listening. It's about giving that safe space for young people to speak to them about what's going on, which can be a massively scary thing for a child to do, and to admit what's going on for them.
Absolutely, and I suppose the other side of the coin is that someone will have a child who's actually being the bully, so what do you do then?
Absolutely, and I think what we all know is that bullies have issues too, and that there is usually something going on for that bully. So it's important that they are supported as well, and to realise the impact that their behaviour has. And I hope that through Anti-Bullying Week this week, that's a message that has got across, that it's not okay to treat people in this way, and that bullies can get support too.
Okay, well, going back to Ashley quickly, what would you say to someone who's being bullied?
Open up early, because I left mine too late and it only made it worse. So I would recommend, if you are being bullied at this minute, I would think about what has happened previous and open up, because you have got that support out there. But when I went through it, I never thought that if I opened up I wouldn't have that support. But when I opened up, that support I had from my family, my friends, and even the public, when I started my own campaign, the support I had was amazing. And I just think if I opened up a bit earlier, I would have had that more support. But the support I've had at the moment has been amazing, and I just want to thank you to everyone that's supported me.
Oh, lovely to hear. Ashley, thank you so much for coming in and telling us your story. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you, Alex, from the NSPCC as well.
And if you've been affected by these subjects and need help or advice, then head to our webpage. That's itv.com/West Country, where you'll find details of organisations that can help.